These are short review of two elite special forces of two neighboring countries, Indonesian Kopassus and Australian SAS. Who is better? Kopassus, Indonesia. The Komando Pasukan Khusus, abbreviated Kopassus, is an Indonesian Army Special Forces group that conducts special operations missions for the Indonesian government, such as direct action, unconventional warfare, sabotage, counterinsurgency, counterterrorism, intelligence gathering and special reconnaissance. Kopassus was founded on April 16, 1952. It gained worldwide attention after several operations such as the Indonesian invasion of East Timor, the release of hostages from Garuda Indonesia Flight 206, and hostage rescue operation in Papua, Indonesia. On April 15, 1952, Colonel Alexander Everett Kawilarang began to form Kesatuan Komando Tentara Territorium 3 Siliwangi, Kesko TT, the early name of Kopassus and the basis for this historic Special Forces unit. Not long after Colonel Kawilarang, with the use of military intelligence, located and met with Major Rokus Bernardus Visser, a former member of the Dutch Special Forces who had remained in newly independent Indonesia, settled in West Java, married an Indonesian woman and was known locally as Muhammad Ijan Janbi. He was the first recruit for the Indonesian Special Forces, as well as its first commander. Due to him, the unit, which later became Kopassus, wear red berets, instead of the distinctive green beret. There are 5 groups of Kopassus, which are: Special Forces Training and Education Center, Pusdik-Passus, located in Batu Jajar, West Java; 1st Para-Commandos Group, 2nd Para-Commandos Group, Group 4 Sandiyudo or Clandestine Group, SAT 81 Gulter Counterterrorism Group. Except for Pusdik-Passus, which serves as an educational center, other groups have combat-oriented operational functions. The commando education and training lasts for approximately 7 months or 28 weeks, which is divided into 3 stages. The first phase of the implementation of the education is conducted on the base for 18 weeks. 10 weeks with individual ability points in Batu Jajar establish attitudes and personality, fill in technical skills, command operation tactics, individual and basic capabilities of urban battle, support knowledge, field managerial, and individual ability test. The second stage, all participants will be released in the forest and the mountains twice each for 6 weeks, with counterinsurgency emphasis, jungle warfare and raid warfare in Citra Lembang, West Java, stabilization of forest observations, individual abilities in the forest or basic battle techniques, forest capabilities and group relations, forest HTF, and durability of long march application. And the next stage of the third stage ends with a 4-week sea swamp stage. 4 weeks with heavy commando operation tactics, sea battle tactics in Cilacap and Nusa Kambangan, Central Java. Conservation observation of sea swamp, patrol ability, swamp terrain knowledge and resistance to interrogation test. The most popular operation of Kopassus was in March 1981 in Don Muang Airport, Thailand, when Kopassus rushed a hijacked Indonesian airliner, Garuda Indonesia Flight 206, that was hijacked by the terrorist who called himself Commando Jihad. The hijackers demanded the release of their Confederates from Indonesian jails and issued other demands. After Thai government gave permission to attack, the rescue operation by Kopassus began at 2:40 a.m., when about 20 commandos crossed the tarmac and thrust ladders against the plane's fuselage. Several of the men clambered onto the wings, forced open 2 doors and burst inside. Machine gun fire was heard from within the plane. The operation killed 4 of the 5 hijackers who had held it for 4 days and freed all 55 hostages aboard. Special Air Service Regiment, SAS, Australia. The The Special Air Service Regiment, officially abbreviated SASR, though commonly known as the SAS, is a Special Forces unit of the Australian Army. Formed in 1957, it was modelled on the British SAS, sharing the motto "Who dares wins." The regiment is based at Campbell Barracks in Swanbourne, a suburb of Perth, Western Australia, and is a direct command unit of the Special Operations Command. It has taken part in operations in Borneo, Vietnam, Somalia, East Timor, Iraq, and Afghanistan, as well as many other peacekeeping missions. The SAS is tasked to provide special operations capabilities in support of the Australian Defence Force. This includes providing unique capabilities to support sensitive strategic operations, special recovery operations, advisory and training assistance, special reconnaissance, precision strike and direct action. The SAS is primarily structured to conduct covert long-range reconnaissance and surveillance in small teams in enemy-controlled territory, while commando units are utilized to conduct raids in larger groups. In the long-range reconnaissance role, the SAS typically operates in small patrols of between 5 and 6 operators with the task of infiltrating enemy-held territory and providing intelligence on enemy activities and capabilities. During such tasks, they seek to evade rather than confront the enemy. SAS soldiers also direct fire support, including airstrikes to destroy enemy installations and disrupt or kill enemy forces whenever possible. SAS reconnaissance patrols can be inserted by land, air, either by helicopter, parachute or high-altitude parachute, or water, including by submarine, small boats, kayaks or diving, and have proved capable of covering long distances and staying concealed in jungle, desert and mountain terrain. SAS patrols may also conduct sabotage and short-duration raids on high-value targets, including headquarters, airfields and communications nodes. One of the primary roles of the regiment is to provide a counter-terrorist capability, with an element of the SAS designated as the Tactical Assault Group West, to respond to domestic incidents on the west coast of Australia and also for international operations. The 2nd Commando Regiment provides Tactical Assault Group East, to respond to domestic incidents on the east coast of Australia. Offensive counter-terrorist operations may include direct action and hostage recovery. A capability to board ships at anchor, ships underway and offshore gas and oil platforms is also maintained. In October 2001, the Australian government announced that it was sending a Special Forces task group built around an SAS squadron to participate in the campaign against Al-Qaeda and the Taliban in Afghanistan, designated Operation Slipper. One squadron arrived in Afghanistan in December 2001, with the other SAS squadrons rotating in at approximately 6 monthly intervals. Their main role in Afghanistan was to conduct reconnaissance and surveillance of Al-Qaeda and Taliban positions, activities and capabilities. SAS force elements also conducted some offensive operations. After arriving at Fabrino, the SAS initially operated in southern Afghanistan with U.S. Marines from Task Force 58, conducting long-range vehicle-mounted patrols over several hundred kilometers around Kandahar and into the Helmand Valley near the Iranian border. The SAS then moved to eastern Afghanistan, where it played a key role in Operation Anaconda in March 2002. During the operation, SAS teams were to provide on-location, in-depth operational intelligence and reconnaissance after they infiltrated the Shahi Valley 10 days prior to the operation, and also saved the lives of 24 soldiers of the U.S. 75th Ranger Regiment after their helicopter was shot down, by providing sniper overwatch and guiding in precise airstrikes to end the enemy advance as they attempted to overrun the isolated Americans. Up to 300 Al-Qaeda fighters were later estimated to have been killed as a result of the airstrikes they called in.